Welcome to Perfect Guardian, and I'll tell you how to deal with a child who constantly complains. Like, it's too hot, I don't want to go to grandma's house. This bug bites, itches a lot. Constant complaints can try a parent's patience, and some kid always find something to complain about. If your child complains a lot, it's an important address this behavior. If you don't curb it while he's young, he may grow up to become an adult who constantly complains. Now I'll tell you about some strategies to help you address the negativity. Acknowledge your child's emotions. The last thing you want to do is minimize how your child feels by saying something like, "Quit crying, or I'll give you something to cry about." That's just not helpful. Instead, find ways to briefly acknowledge your child's distress and then move on. If your child's behavior requires further intervention, discipline the behavior, not the emotions. Sometimes kids complain because they want you to know that they are dealing with some difficult feelings or some physical discomfort. Simply acknowledging that you hear them can sometimes be enough to settle them down for a bit. Say something such as, "I know you are uncomfortable right now because we have been in the car for a long time, but we still have another 1 hour to go." If there are further protests on your child begins winning, ignore it and make it clear that you aren't going to pay attention to negative attempts to get attention. Encourage problem solving. If your child is complaining to you about something, encourage him to solve the problem. If he says, "I am hot," while he's playing outside, ask, "What do you think you should do about that?" If he needs help thinking of options, remind him he could sit in the shade or ask for help getting a cold drink. Teaching your child problem solving skills can help him see that coming to you and complaining isn't likely to fix the problem, but he can ask for help solving the problems, or he can figure out how to solve the problem on his own if it's age appropriate to do so. When kids improve upon their problem solving skills, they may be less likely to complain. And if you don't jump into the problem solving for them, you won't create a sense of learned helplessness. You should point out the positive things. If your child is always quick to point out the negative in any situation, be willing to point out the positive. This can help your child develop a more balanced view of the world instead of only seeing the bad. If your child complains that he can't ride his bike because it's raining, remind him of the fun indoor activities he can do instead. By pointing out the positive, you may be able to remind him that almost every situation has a bright side. Now, sometime you will have to take professional help. Now, when to seek professional help? Sometimes an overly negative attitude can signal an underlying mental health issues. Children with depression, for example, often dwell on the negative, and children with anxiety often imagine worst case scenarios. If you suspect your child's constant complaining or negative outlook could be a sign of something more serious, speak with your child's pediatrician. So thank you. Please subscribe to my channel Perfect Guardian and give your comments.